In a previous video I did a couple of days ago, I talked about people who argue in bad faith. And more specifically, I talked about the black conservatives. And in that video, I talked about how these people will come out there and they will rail against what Obama was saying when it comes to black men and turning out in support for Kamala Harris. All the meanwhile, they're bending the knee and kissing the ring to the orange man who should be in prison right now. Now, which brings us to this bad faith actress right here in Sage Steele. Now, she is the preeminent big winch of our generation. This woman here is a avid Trump supporter, right? So that right there alone should tell you that her credibility is complete shit, right? But considering that it was the cool thing to do, the going in Obama. What's up, Gideon? My man, CB Sports TV in the building. Salute to y'all. This bitch decides to go on Fox News to try to call herself throwing her hat in the ring when it comes to the whole dynamic of what Obama said last week at that rally for that black voters rally out there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right? So we're going to get into this, right? Fair use day, Fox News, right? And I don't know what makes this woman think that she could come in here and start speaking for us. We don't need no Sage Steele speaking for us when it comes to the whole Obama dynamic, right? Who died made her some kind of representative, right? Which one of you right-wing nuts prop this woman up to call herself speaking for black men? She ain't even had a black husband, for crying out loud. DJ, spin that shit.
Sage Steele is the host of the Sage Steele Show podcast. It's great to have you on the show. The marijuana stuff always gets to me. So I want you to listen to a little bit more of that from the Breakfast Club yesterday.
I was the most progressive prosecutor in California on marijuana cases and would not send people to jail for simple possession of weed. And as vice president, have been a champion for bringing marijuana down on the schedule. My pledge is as president, I will work on decriminalizing it because I know exactly how those laws have been used to disproportionately impact certain populations and specifically black men.
Is that a burning issue in the community, Sage?
Okay, so to that white lady, right? Talk about, the weed phenomenon in the black community. Why does it benefit you? Huh? I just want to know. How does it benefit you? Why does it benefit you? Why does you have some kind of concern about weed in the black community? Was you smoking with us? Huh? Stupid bitch. You don't need to be worried about what the fuck going on in the black community. And this bitch don't even speak for the black community. So why is she only speaking for us?
Well, first and foremost, I don't want to claim to be speaking for the black community.
Good. Get your ass off there right now. You not leaving?
That's for sure. I do think it's such a diverse community, right, with the way we think, our experiences. But I have been out and about a lot, whether it was at the J.D. Vance Town Hall in Reading, Pennsylvania the other day. I was in Charlotte, North Carolina with voters yesterday, and Atlanta last week with the Women for Trump team. Not one person, black man or woman, who has come up to me has mentioned that at all. It is more about where have the Democrats been in general for us over the last 4 years, actually 16 years since Obama came in office. Literally, Dana, not one person has mentioned marijuana to me. It's about jobs. It's about actually seeing a difference in our communities in other ways. And some.
Okay, you sitting up here talking about you don't want to be speaking for the black community, but you sitting up here talking about, oh man, we talk about jobs, we talk about all this stuff in our community. Bitch, you did not even have a black husband. Your husband was as white as a jar of helmets. And yet you sitting up here talking about you part of the black community. If you don't get your bed witching ass out of here.
Some of the other things Kamala Harris talked about with Charlemagne the God yesterday, and with prison and releasing criminals or treating them differently when she was out in California, those are the concerns. Jobs, the basic stuff that, by the way, isn't just a black concern. It's an American concern, and she continues to try to divide. But the pot thing.
See, here we go. We trying to lump everybody else. It's not just a black community concern. It's an American concern. Because see, when it comes to black folks, it is inclusive, and when it comes to everybody else, it is exclusive.
I'm with you. It's comical.
Well, Barack Obama last week had a pretty strong message toward African-American men. Do you see that as a problem in 2024?
Bill, honestly, it actually broke my heart.
Why did it break your heart, said Steele? Again, you don't like black men. You embrace white men. You have children by a white man. Why did it break your heart?
Because to me, it was so blatant as to what it was. First of all, it really was a scolding. And again, that's something that there was a man in a parking lot that we were talking to yesterday. We had the Trump bus out there, and he came up and he said, I can't repeat what he said actually, and he was livid. He said, why is he talking down to us? Don't scold us.
Okay, say Steele. So let me ask you something, right? So Obama was out there scolding. You say Obama's out there scolding black men. Okay, we got it. Well established. Okay, so why was Trump at a black conservative function trying to get us to relate to him being a 34-time convicted felon? So all black folks is out here being convicted felons, right? Just because he got his butt in the crack, right? Make it make sense. Or you ain't said nothing about that.
Where have you been coming off of Martha's Vineyard and then lecturing us when it's convenient? So to me, it is very disturbing. The problem is he and they have gotten away with this kind of rhetoric for years. Mm-hmm. It's just that now they haven't been able to back anything up. And now you come in at the very last second, right? 3 weeks before the election, and now you all of a sudden are going to tell us how to vote? Stop it. And to me, I was refreshed, I think, you guys, to hear these voters, happen to be black men and women who I was talking to yesterday, say, no, we're not idiots. We see what you're doing. We see your timing. Back off.
No, and we see your timing too. So you back off. Because again, y'all sitting up here talking about the border. When Trump was president from 2017 to 2021, right? And in the first part of his presidency, he had control of the House and the Senate. He could have did something about the border then. Did he do anything about the border then? No, he did not. So yeah, again, who prop this woman up to be calling herself speaking for black men? We don't need Say Steele speaking for us. She's the big wench. She's the primitive coon of our generation, right? And she's an avid Trump supporter, a bad faith actress. So if what you saying about the Democrats, right? And I don't support Democrats. I don't support Republicans. I am a free thinker, unlike a lot of you so-called black conservatives. Y'all not free thinkers. You guys are puppets. And as soon as Daddy Trump, shaking the start pulling the strings, here come you puppets. Right? So what's the alternative, said Steele? Because you can't possibly think that Donald Trump is the solution to all the problems that's going on in the black community. You can't possibly think that, right? What's up, David Joseph?
One of the things that happened yesterday, there was record turnout on the first day of early voting in Georgia. And one of the senators from Georgia, Raphael Warnock, says Trump will be dangerous to communities of color. Watch here.
The issue is folks have got to understand that to not vote is a vote. It's a vote for Donald Trump. It's to send this man one step closer to the White House, which finally, let me say, will be literally dangerous. Let me remind the black men who are listening, the men of color, communities of color, he will be dangerous.
And yet.
Okay. All right, so I hate when they use that talking point too. That's one of the goofiest shits I've ever heard in my life. So let me get this straight. If I sit out the election, that's a vote for Donald Trump. How is that possible, y'all? How? That had to be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. If I sit this election out, that is somehow a vote for Donald Trump. How is that possible? And I hate when Democrats use that stupid ass fucking talking point. You giving bed wenches like saying Steele ammunition to be going in. Stop saying dumb shit like that.
He does have a significant increase in support from black voters, black men in particular, and they knew what his presidency was like 4 years ago, Sage.
Exactly. That's the best part. And that's something that I mentioned yesterday because it's something my dad used to say to us as kids. Okay, you want respect, you want all that. What's your track record? And that's what it should come down to in this election, because Kamala Harris's track record, we know what it is over the last 3.5 years. All of a sudden you say you care. What happened with the border, which, yes, is affecting all jobs, including black jobs. Donald Trump's track record, like, you don't.
I know you ain't about to say, I know you're not about to lie. Bitch, I know you're not about to sit up here and lie about Trump's track record when that motherfucker track record is baby diarrhea.
Have to like any of it. Just look at the facts. Look at the numbers. Were we in danger over the 4 years of that Trump presidency? I say no, especially compared to what it has felt like. Look at the crime rates based a lot, in many ways, on what's happened at the border. So the track record matters, and I believe the ones I'm speaking to, so many voters right now, are not focusing on what they're saying, but what they have and have not done, Democrats, over the last 4 years. I mean it, though. I'm very refreshed being out and actually speaking to people and not just listening to what people say on the media or talking points, et cetera. It matters to be kind of boots on the ground, and there are so many black people that I've spoken to who are offended and feel as if they're being talked down to, and that they're not smart enough to look at policies versus talking points.
Okay, so where's Donald Trump's plan to address all these things? Where's his plan? And look, and for as much as I going on Kamala Harris or whatever like that, right? Look, understand something. Trump ain't no better. Where's Donald Trump's plan? He don't got no goddamn plan. All he wants to talk about is how he's being victimized and how the DOJ is weaponizing the government and the system against him. Because at the end of the day, it's about him. He is a self-serving professional bullshit artist. Every time this man speaks, it's all doom and gloom. This man offers no solutions. This man has no plan. All he wants to do is keep his ass out of jail. That's the only reason this man is running for president. And yet you got this. Boy, I really want to say some stuff, man, but I got to watch my tongue. But you have this babe winching bimbo sitting up here babbling and bloviating about a whole bunch of nothing. She's an empty, curly haired individual in an empty suit who wants to get dicked down by white men. But you're going to simply talk about the black community when you try everything in your power to distance yourself from the black community? Boy, I tell you, man,
And again, they felt insulted to be talked to this way. And again, where were they?
And we feel insulted about you speaking on us. When you try to distance yourself from the black community, you see, you sit up here talking about Kamala Harris being black when convenient. What are you doing, say Steele? You fucking hypocrite. Ain't you being black when convenient now? Because everything else, you try to run from your blackness. I mean, you're like a surgery short of actually being white. So no, you don't get to do that. You don't get to sit up here and argue in bad faith. You can't sit up here and tell us what the Democrats is doing wrong, all in the meanwhile the Republicans haven't done anything. Need I remind Sage Steele that the Republicans still control the House? To this very day, the Republicans control the House. Now, how many bills have passed the House? since the Republicans have taken power? How many bills? How many bills, Stage? Let's keep this 100. How many of these bills the Republicans have passed since they took control of the House? They haven't done anything about the border crisis. So what are you talking about? Huh? Say, Steele, what you talking about? Because right now you just sound like a goddamn on a bed-winching, babbling bitch. Let's just keep this 100, right? And again, you tried to run for your blackness. Now all of a sudden, now it's convenient. Now you want to call yourself being a black girl? Get the fuck out of here.
All of a sudden, Obama comes out. Where you been? Where you been for us is the messaging, and it was really refreshing for me to hear that, in person.
When you think about young black American men, and
she ain't qualified to be speaking on young black American men, considering that this woman is 50 years old.
If this is all true and the polling's right and the election goes the way that it's projected, that's a changing generation, if true, okay? And as I say that, look at the numbers from Georgia. In 2020, at 136,000 early in person. That was a COVID year now. A lot of people did not want to be close to other people, but yesterday blew the number out of the water, 306,000 in 2024, and we'll watch how that changes, whether or not it stays up that way. But what she was talking about now is 20 grand. It's not a loan. It's a grant. It's yours. Go buy a home to 1 million African Americans. Also talking about considering reparations, that it has to be studied. I wonder about young African American men and whether or not they're breaking the mold of what traditionally how people have viewed the African American population.
Dude, you could have asked Lawrence B. Jones. His coon ass is on your network. Why don't you ask him? Why are you asking Sage Steele? You think Sage Steele support reparations for black folks? Sage Steele does not support reparations for black folks. So why is you asking her? I'm telling y'all, these bad faith actors and bad faith actresses on the right, they're still gonna sit up here, take up what Obama said, run with it, and they gonna act like Trump is some kind of goddamn alternative when he's not.
Do you believe that is real and that they are a changing generation now with different priorities?
Absolutely. Aren't we all? I think so. And I think because when you look at the basics, when you look at what it takes now to fill up your car with gas or to the grocery stores, which seem like talking points, but
hold on, Chase Steele, because again, when Trump was president, it's not like we were paying 98 cents a gallon for gas. Make it make sense. So why is you sitting up here railing about the Democrats and all that when the Republicans were just as culpable, they were just as complicit in this nonsense? But you sitting up here talking about Democrats this, Democrats that. Like the Republicans, like the Democrats were so bad and the Republicans were so good, right? I'm telling you, man, this woman is something else.
But it's true, those are the facts. And so if you're not paying attention to all the political stuff over the last couple of years, fine. But what you do know is what your pocketbook feels like. And what you do know is what you see in the streets of New York City, Atlanta, Georgia, Los Angeles. And so those are the things that you can't argue with as an everyday American. And so, yes, there is an evolution. And I do believe that people are taking closer looks. Black people, again, just being out in the communities, are
you in the black community, what hood you been at? Huh? What hood you been at? And you don't look like the type of person that be rolling around in the hood. You look like the type of person that is in a gated community or in a suburb somewhere, but I don't see you rolling around some predominantly black neighborhood. That's just beneath you, Sage Steele. So yeah, cut it out.
Taking a closer look at it and saying, you can do this, but show me. And what has been shown to them is quite obvious. One of the men I talked to yesterday said, I'm pissed off. I'm mad about this. Why are they talking down to us and trying to bribe us with loans, with money, et cetera? And he said, you know, I've never voted before, and I don't know if I'm going to even do it. And I said, why? Why wouldn't you? Like, if you don't, then I don't want to hear you complaining. That's the thing.
Oh, see that? See, there you go. Both Democrat and Republican bring up that talking point where if you don't vote, you can't say anything. Says who? You know, all kinds of legislation that get passed without even going to the ballot box. All these other groups get things done without having to go to the ballot box. But all of a sudden, on the black community, if we don't vote, we can't say nothing. Says who? Says who? Because see, again, when it comes to black people getting tangibles, you got the Republicans and Democrats coming together like Voltron and telling the black community no. And then we got bad-winching individuals like Sage Steele who want to come on and run interference, putting out bad faith arguments and other talking points.
He goes, I am registered. And he sat there and he goes, maybe this is the time, because it's not right what they're doing to our community. It was like an emotional moment, because I'm not saying who to vote for. I'm like, young man, just get out there and vote. And if you don't, I don't want to hear it. You can't complain, right, if you don't get out there and do something about it. But he was really torn, because I think so often black people are told, I mean, I've been told, and you guys know my story a little bit, that if you look like this, you must vote a certain way, you must think a certain way and act a certain way and speak a certain way. That is racist in its own right. And they even said,
Say still, black people can't be racist, okay? First of all, we didn't even come up with the term. And second, we don't have the economic or other forms of resources to where we can impose our power and influence and things of that nature upon the other groups. Black people can't be racist, you dumb bitch.
yesterday, people know that it's racist to say, I'm going to give you this for free because the color of your skin. Like, I think so often the Democrats believe that black men and women, especially younger, are too stupid or lazy to.
Like you, for the Republicans, right? Because right now, you're being stupid, you're being lazy, you're sitting up here bringing up all kinds of lies by omission because you want to feed the people who watch that show their proverbial red meat. And you just throwing that slop out there, and then white folks is out there just slurping that bullshit up.
To do their homework. Maybe in the past they didn't take things as seriously, I don't know. But I'm excited for this future, this younger generation. All races, of course, but in particular because there's so much focus now by the Democrats on the black vote.
Regardless,
they're not lazy anymore. They feel it.
Regardless how it turns out, it will be a story and a very interesting one to.
All right, so that's that article. But yeah, Sage Steele, sit your ass down somewhere. You really need to sit down somewhere. Again, nobody asked you that was in the black community to come bring your head out the goddamn sand, right? Because your head was face down and your ass was up in the sand. Nobody asked you to emerge from wherever you emerged from, wherever fire pit you was at, to come call yourself speaking on black folks when all you done most of your life was distance yourself from your black skin. We didn't ask for Sage Steele. We didn't need Sage Steele coming out speaking out for black men, right? We didn't need that. We didn't want that. Who asked for Sage Steele to be speaking on black people, more specifically black men? Who asked for her? Bad faith actors and bad faith actresses poison any kind of movements that we might have towards progress. Because again, why are they doing this? They're either on a self-serving agenda or they are on an agenda being peddled by who cuts their checks. You can't make this stuff up. These jokes write themselves. And she ain't no different than Byron Donalds and Wesley Hunt and Tim Scott, right? All them jackasses running around here with white wives and stuff, and they're sitting there talking about black families. Y'all ain't got no goddamn black family. These jokes really write themselves. But anyway, You guys let me know what y'all think, man. I've cooked on this whole long enough, man. I got better things to do with my goddamn time. Stupid bitch. Make me sick. Eat a dick. Anyway, you know how to subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Shouts out to the LDBC. This your man. Scream at me. Ho!